Hello, I'm Julian from the Better Programme. Just a short video to mainly deal with the Better Programme as a study course and the role of the language assistant. Before we deal with that, a couple of things. We have other videos there which we would also like you to watch. Background check, visa application, and what happens after the interview. That may help you in the interview, because you might have questions that we can deal with then when we're talking to you during the interview, and that will save us maybe some emails later on in the process. Most of you will be having an interview via Skype. Some of you will come here to Madrid, or if you're already here, you'll come and have a group interview in person. But if you're having an interview via Skype, please remember to add our contact. In the email that you get, you'll have the contact there. It's either Better Spain 2013 or Better ECM. Please add us, because if we have to find you, it's a little bit more complicated and we might not be able to. So to be certain that that we have that contact and we can get hold of you at the specific time, then add us as a contact. On the day of your interview, the time of your interview, if you can, please make sure that you're there at the time. We don't have a lot of flexibility. We're a small team doing a lot of interviews in a short space of time, so we can't really move you about. So it's important that you do your best to be there at the time we've asked for. If you have problems on the day, technical problems or something like that, then please contact us as soon as possible, so that we know what's happened, because we'll be there waiting for you. We'll try to do what we can. If you are late for the interview, that affects your time. We'll have about 20-25 minutes for each interview, and if you're 10 minutes late, that comes off your interview time, because we've got somebody else waiting for the next interview. Okay, so please remember that. Now, the Better Programme is a study course. We are linked directly with Comillas University. The study course goes along 4 years. You can be in the programme for 4 years if you want to. You can be 1, 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. But let's say you were here for 1 year. That means you would study the first year of a 2-year course. Methodology is the first 2 years. You would get a certificate at the end of that year saying that you have studied 1 year of a 2-year course. If you stay 2 years, and you will study 2 years of that 2-year course, you then can claim the diploma, the postgraduate diploma, which is worth 60 credits from Comillas. Now, if you were then to stay for a 3rd and 4th year, you would do year 1 and year 2 of the next course, which is innovation, exactly the same deal. So that's how we follow the Comillas study lines. You have to pay an enrolment fee for the course. That will be dealt with a little bit later in one of the other videos, but please be aware from the outset that enrolment fee for first years is €175. That's administration charges from Comillas. The role of the language system is hugely varied, and that's essentially why we have the course, to support you, certainly that first year and those first couple of years, giving you methodology and ideas and activities, things that have been tried and tested, used by existing language assistants in their 3rd or 4th year, or ex-language assistants, things that they've developed over the time they've been here, and we use those as the core materials to give to you to help you have real, usable, original materials and activities, ideas that you can take straight to the school. But your main role is as the linguistic model. You are going to be the leader of the activities. There's absolutely nowhere to hide in the Spanish classroom in front of the students. It requires a lot of energy. You have to be quite dynamic and very positive. You're on all the time. It's a lot of fun, but like I said, to begin with, it's quite tiring. But please be aware that you will almost always be the leader in the class. You'll certainly be the co-teacher. To break it down by age ranges, in infants, so that's 3 to 5 year olds, you're there for your sounds, your noises, your phonetics. You'll do that through stories, fun games, songs, TPR type activities. And as I said, lots of energy, but you are there to do those activities. You are not there to look after a group of small children. So that's the main teacher's role. So you're there to do the activities, to impart the English to them. In primary, it's much more structured. They've got a syllabus, they've got a textbook, and they've got to complete certain parts of that textbook, and certain exercises by a certain time in the year. So you're much more likely to be there, a co-teacher, and supporting or backing up the exercises, the vocabulary, the grammar point that they're dealing with that week or month. So that'll be through flashcards or some short games, short activities, much more likely there. Maybe the higher levels of primary, you might start doing projects, you might start being more involved over the whole class, but in primary, that's where you might work much more with the existing teacher. Then in secondary, so 11 to 16, and then bachillerato, or 17 and 18-year-olds, that's where they generally ask for something outside the curriculum. You're a language and cultural assistant, so that's where your culture starts to come into play. You'll be doing projects, short projects, long projects, role plays, theatre skits, and those kind of interesting, fun activities, plus some maybe presentations of your country or your culture, or your ideas or things that you're interested in, things that you can bring into the class. You get a lot of fun, very dynamic, very interesting, a fair bit of preparation needed for you and from you for those types of classes, but ultimately extremely rewarding. We have a set of guidelines which you will have before you arrive to go over, but we also look at them with you when you come to orientation, and they set out the parameters, the legal parameters and the responsibilities that you have and that we have for you, and the Comillas, the university, have for you, and Escuelas Católicas in the school. So everybody's responsibilities are set out in those guidelines, so we all know exactly where we are and how to work around those. Hopefully that's given you enough information for now. Like I said, go ahead, watch those other videos, certainly the ones that pertain to you. Visa application if you're non-European, and background checks for everybody. Thanks very much.